Hey Jennifer, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
So nice to have you here on the channel. Thank you first for your time and for agreeing to talk. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to join you.
Thanks. So that's the first interview we're doing on this channel. So thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to discuss with business owners, and usually I do this privately, but today it's a bit special because we already had a discussion a while back where I made a video to review your website. And by
Yes,
the way, you told me you were so mad at me after the first video.
I was so mad at you.
So we're going to explain the context, what happened, and then we're going to see the website as it stands now and do like a little before after analysis, and then talk about what's next, how the business is going, what you're trying to achieve. How does this all sound to you?
It sounds great.
Amazing. So Jennifer, so you started your own business a couple of months ago, right? So it's
Yes,
called AllOutCareers, and you're helping people with their career growth, right?
right.
So can you tell us a bit more in terms of what's your background, what did you do before that, and what made you decide to start your own business?
I've worked in IT for 12 years and or plus 12 years plus. And I just have a lot of experience in business. And I noticed that there's a lot of people out there who want to get into IT or back office careers and they don't know where to start. I started doing a mentorship at work last year. I absolutely loved it. And then went to Reddit and noticed that there were a bunch of people on there that needed help. And I decided I helped them for a little while, just under a different Reddit username. And then I just decided, hey, I really love doing this. I should make a business out of this. So here
That's
we are.
fantastic when you find something which is a passion you're good at and there's a demand on the market for this. That's where, Japanese call that ikigai. It's you're at the conflux of many different things, a problem, something you excel at, something you're good at, something that you're passionate about, and that's where you can really excel and create a wonderful business. So I'm super happy for you that you found, your thing and that it's going well.
Thank you.
Cool. And so that's how we got to know each other because I found you on Reddit. So I'm quite active on Reddit. I try to help people out, people that ask for feedback on their website, their store. And so I found you at the time you were sharing your first website asking for feedback. And I made a video to analyze the website, give you a few tips, and you took it super badly at first, and that's
Personal.
that's entirely my fault, by the way. But can you tell us what happened from your perspective?
Yeah. First, I have never used Shopify before, and I was really just learning it and trying to understand how to put, my website together, how to get all of the content on there so that people wanted to visit it. And if you're familiar with Shopify, there are templates. I picked one that I thought looked good that somebody else had done, and I thought I would try to make it my own. It was super bad. So I went onto the review my Shopify. It was some Reddit. There was some subreddit where people would go to get advice on their websites, and that's where I met you. And
Yeah.
you just did a video, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
No, but at
You did a
first
video, and
the problem
oh,
is,
sorry,
I think the content of the video was insightful and was
yes,
positive in the sense
it
that
was
I
definitely
try to come up with good intention and saying okay you can improve that, and but it wasn't coming from a place of oh this is bad, this is horrible. I was really trying to help you, but the problem is at the time I was just getting started on YouTube. I didn't have a lot of experience, and I had heard, and I think, and by the way that's true, that negative titles and clickbait titles and images are getting more reactions, and that's just a
right.
thing. Like people react more to bad news than positive news. That's why on the if you turn
Unfortunately,
up the TV or radio, it's always negative. You have the impression the word is about to stop. Right? There's always a new thing. That's just our brains have been wired to react to possible threats, dangers, and stuff like that. And so I've heard a lot of tips on YouTube. They were telling me you should make really negative titles that draw attention, that are, more like, clickbaity. And so I think the thumbnail was something like that, where I was like thumbs down, saying, okay, everything's wrong on this website. So the title was super negative, but the content of the video was positive. And I was like, okay, the person behind the website is going to maybe be pissed at the video, but they're going to click on it and they're going to notice that I had good intentions. But you didn't even watch the video. You were like super pissed at me for the title and the thumbnail, right?
Yeah, I'm so glad we're laughing about this today.
Oh yeah, me too. But so then I took your criticism. I changed, by the way, the title, the thumbnail, and this taught me a lot, because now I realize that it's super easy for me as a stranger to come and criticize your shop, but your shop, regardless of how good it is or not, you spent a lot of time, effort, energy, like it's your life you're putting into this, and you have like some random guy coming and like criticizing, and this is personal. And I got that learning from you. And now whenever I do a review, even if I'm pretty harsh in the content, I always try to, put it out positive. And even in the title and the thumbnail, and I only do like negative, more clickbaity titles when I review like a piece of news or something that's happening, like a news review type of video. And never when I do a website review, I always try to frame it under a positive light, what we can learn, what can be improved on, never in negatively. And I learned that from you, so thank you for that lesson. So do you want to have a look actually at the website?
Yes, let's do that.
So
I'm going to be a little embarrassed.
No,
okay.
Because we'll see everything that's improved, and that's massive. So you should be really proud of what you've accomplished. So this is the website now. We'll come back to this after a while, in a few minutes. But basically, so that's your website, AllOutCareers. By the way, all the links will be in the description. But basically, so you're helping people find their career path, improve their work, their career, advance, develop, maybe, branch out to something else or improve in their own career. And we'll discuss some more about that. And I'll give you a few tips still today on what you can improve on, but I think there's a bit too much text and you can vary it, but we'll discuss that. But what I like is it's super clear now what you're doing. Like you're helping people, you're trying to give them tips and resources and tools, and you're giving them advice, and we learn a lot about you, your expertise, your experience. That's really great. I think that's a lot more trustworthy than the first version. On the first version, that video was on February 23rd. So that was the whole website was this. When we would get on, there was just this big logo, a big stock image, which didn't really say what the website was about, and no text. That's the entire page, right? So it was that's the way it would stop here. What do you think now with some feedback about, after a few months, what do you think of the first version of your website?
So the idea was that I would have a super clean, modern looking website, and people would like it, and all of the places to click would be right at the top, and they would have some visuals, but looking at it now, it wasn't like that at all.
The main problem about the website, and this is not really a you problem, like I see many websites out there, even e-commerce websites having that problem. It's tunnel vision. Like it's their business, they spend all their day working on their website, and they don't really understand that it's less obvious for people coming to your website than it is for you what you're doing. And so for you, it was obvious that you help people with their careers and you have careers in the title. But someone that didn't know your website that comes here and they just see this big title and an image and no text, right, they're completely lost. They have no idea what you're doing, and they're not going to make the effort of clicking on every page, every link to try and investigate what the website is about. They would have just left at this stage. And now the website is a lot better. I like it a lot more because right from when we start, we see what you're about, right? And for sure, a lot of things can be improved. And if people watching this video have tips to share them nicely, positively in the comments below. Tell us what you would improve on the website, but only in a constructive manner, please. But for sure, everybody's got their own opinion about what's a good website, what's a nice looking design. So everybody would do differently. But what's for sure is now your website tells us what we can find on it, right? Find your career path, advance your career, and you have free resources, and you have some authority. I think yesterday I made a video on Google and how Google ranks website and how they evaluate the quality of the content. And for Google, information that shows your expertise or authority to speak on the domain or expertiveness, like they say, it's super, super important. So I like this very much, where you sign with your name, we see your picture, you share your story. This is so relatable. I'm like 1,000 times more likely to contact you after I read all of that than from the previous version of the website. So congrats, it's amazing. I love all the work you've done in a short amount of time, because you've been busy with a lot of other stuff, right?
Thank you. Well, I took all of the feedback that you gave me and kind of dumped it into this. I changed the Shopify theme, which really transformed the website. That was adding the text and changing the theme are probably the best two pieces of the best two suggestions that you gave me. I think that's what really transformed it, and I wouldn't have known that had we not made up and started talking.
No, but that's super cool. I like it. So now I think there might be a bit too much text.
Okay.
But I'm not suggesting you should remove some. I'm suggesting you should try to do like some text, some image, some more text, a call to action. You need to vary it a bit. So don't remove anything. Just add more illustrations, just to mix things up a bit, you see?
Okay.
And
so like for some of the, for example, if you scroll up a little bit where it says like personality tests or career tools, could I do screenshots of those websites, or just to show people what they look like?
I think that'd be good. For this, that would be a good idea. And you asked me before the video, can I use stock images? I think you can if you don't only use these and if they're well placed. So if the first thing we see is like this one, is a stock image, but at least it's up to you. There's a message. It's connected to the rest. So I think it's okay. But you have to mix these with maybe images of yourself. If you're doing some Skype calls or Google Meet or Zoom with someone, you can try and take a screenshot of you talking to them. If they agree, of course, you can put them on the website with the big smile and say, okay, this is the person I've helped. That would make things a bit more personal. I think that would be better than stock image. But in the meantime, stock image is good because you need to have people's images. Your website is about people, it's about careers, it needs to showcase people. You can't only show tools, it's going to make things feel less personal. So you need to have a balance between informative images that illustrate a point, a tool, a website, so that's fine to use a screenshot, and images that are more like here to give a feeling, of, okay, a happy person, like a handshake in an office room or stuff like that. Do you feel my point?
Yeah, and even maybe get some testimonials for some people that I've helped already.
That would be really awesome. That's the number one thing that would have the most value, in my opinion.
Okay.
The second tip I would give you is, I think the call to action is still not clear. We discussed a bit about that before, but and I think that's because you're trying to change the purpose of the website, so we can discuss a bit about that. But it's a big problem is when you're on a website and you read everything and you're not sure what to do next. There's a big problem. For e-commerce websites, it's simpler because their goal is to sell products. So on the homepage, they describe what they do, who they are, what's their mission statement, what makes them special, and then they present their products, and then you view the product, and then you buy the product. So it's a bit simpler. In your case, the previous website, the goal was to contact you to get a call. From this website, so we can establish, your stuff, there's a ton of free resources, so that's great. We know you're an expert, you have an interesting story, so this makes me want to contact you, but I don't know where to go and what to do from here, if that makes sense.
Okay, yes.
So what would you like to achieve with this website? What's the desired path of action if someone that doesn't know you, they jump on here, they read all of that, what would you like them to do next?
So originally, the idea was to do individual consultations.
Yeah.
And so I do have a consult set in my products, but I took it down. Like if you go up to the shopping bag at the top, yeah, there, it just tells you, thanks for visiting. I don't have any
Mm.
products right now
Okay.
because I took the consult down. I'm very busy in my day job, and I also have a family, so I'm not sure that I want to do individual consults. I do spend a lot of time on Reddit helping people. I mean, probably 2 or 3 hours a day, I'm on Reddit replying, answering questions, giving feedback and suggestions. They'll contact me privately if they're not comfortable asking questions in the public forum. So I'm spending a lot of time,
Mm.
2 to 3 hours a day helping people on Reddit. And I still want to continue to do that because that's something free, and people really do need help, and that's where
Yeah.
they go to get it.
Mhm.
And so eventually I will run ads, but I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit and move over to recorded sessions
Mm.
that can be downloaded for purchase, like workshops and things like
Yeah.
that. I might even do live events.
Yeah.
So I think that would be better than doing individual one-on-one consults. I'm not saying that I won't do them. I just don't think that I don't think it's something that I can do
Yeah.
now.
That makes sense. So when you do have a product, which will be like a recorded session or a video or maybe a package, I had made a video a while back about a keto diet guide website where they would give a ton of free content about what's keto, a few recipes, and then you would pay to get a comprehensive keto diet plan where you get like a meal planning, like a schedule, like a do that, do this, and hundreds of recipes. So even though there's a ton of free content out there, and on their own website they would give out a lot of free content as well. People that really want to take it a notch further, they can download the comprehensive guide for a certain price, right? So
It's like
you
a
could,
program.
yeah, exactly. So you could have something like that where you say, okay, there are free tools, free resources, but if you want like the real package with everything and a few recorded videos and a written plan of step 1, 2, 3, ask yourself these questions. Do you want to change your industry, your personality, work on your resume, and contact your dream company? This is how to write a cover letter, and and you have this package. I think this could be a product.
Okay.
And the live events are good, so you could have a call to action like register for next event or something like that. And in the meantime, you should still at least like register to my newsletter, something like that. Even if you're not sending out emails just yet, people, if they do that, they will show you, okay, you look like you know your stuff. I'm interested in this topic. I want to learn more. And you can say, subscribe to my newsletter. I will start, you can say, I will start in the future sending a few updates, news, contents by email in the next 1, 2, 3 months, you decide. So you can write this very clearly, so people don't expect to receive something right away. But people that will register on newsletter, there will be warm prospects. When you do release a product, these people are going to be interested. So it's a missed opportunity not to collect their interest and their newsletter subscription right away. Does it make sense?
Yes, I do have a newsletter sign up, but it's not on the front page, so I
That's a
think I need to
problem.
move
Yes,
it.
I know you have it because I found it here. But so for now, I think this is your main call to action until
Okay.
you replace it with something else, which will be a product or a live session registration or something. But you always need to have an action. You always need to think, okay, what's the next action I want people to do? So right now they can't buy anything, but you should still
Right.
ask yourself, okay, what do I want them to do? The least you could ask them, I think, is register to your newsletter. And this
Okay.
call to action, it needs to be strategically placed on your website. So, and my tip now, people have different philosophies on that, but my personal view is you should place it multiple times on your homepage. And
Okay.
whenever you've added value, you can place it. You shouldn't place it just in random places, but if you add value, then it's okay to ask for something in return. So what I would do if I were you is I would add it after each section. So after personality test, like if you want, you put like a call to action here, which usually is like a big button.
Okay.
Which could also be a line with a link, but buttons respond better. You say, okay, subscribe, and you can have a small title above the button. So you subscribe to the newsletter to get more free tools, tips, content, and then you have the button subscribe or something like that. And you place it again after Carrier's tool, and you place it again after social media, and you place it again at the very bottom after your About Us section. And this way, people that make the effort of reading a paragraph, and they might not read everything. Some people will just rapidly scroll, and they will stop at social media because they're interested in social media. And so that's why you need to have it in several places. Does it make sense?
Yeah, and maybe at the bottom of each blog post too.
Absolutely.
So I have.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you have a blog post, if someone that has made the effort of reading your blog post cannot be warmer, it's a very warm prospect. They've spent time and effort reading about your content, and they might not want to leave a comment because they don't have anything to say, but you should definitely at the end say something like, okay, do you want to receive more news? Do you want to stay in touch? Be informed when I release new free content. Leave me your email and you'll be on the newsletter. Something like that. You have to present what's in it for them. What they'll get.
Okay.
And definitely put it on each blog post. Put it at the bottom of your about us page like this. This is great.
Yes.
This is great. You could do something like that on the homepage too.
Okay.
I think you can make a bit more personal text, something that is more in your style and that will explain what they will get out of it. This sounds too much like a generic sentence you would find on an e-commerce website. I think you can say something more enticing to people, like receive be the first to know is fine. When I release new free content or new content, or when I can provide more value to you, something like that.
Okay.
But I like very much the website. I think you've progressed tremendously from here. So I'm really proud of you, and I will continue to help you, give you some tips, even besides the call and everything. I really wish to continue helping you build your business around this. I think it's a fantastic idea. I'm super happy you're finding a lot of people that need help and you're actually providing this help. The more testimonies you can put on the website, the better it is.
Okay, that's great.
Cool. And so what are your short-term goals? Now, what are the next steps for you? So you talked about Reddit, trying to help Reddit, release some products. So what's next after that? So right now this is a side hustle, right? You're doing this in addition to your job and taking care of your family.
Yes.
That's amazing. Congrats.
Thanks. So my next step is to create a schedule around my blog posts so that people know when they are going to be posted on certain days. And then in addition to that, I want to add, as we talked about before, some products that can be purchased, or maybe for workshops, like they can follow along, they can download the video, follow along as I'm doing the activity, and then by the end of the video they will have completed the activity themselves. And then I thought about doing some live events too, having a group of people join. We can kind of talk about what their goals are and what tools they can use and things like that. So
that would be amazing. I'm sure it's going to work out. Cool. And so if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to reach out? So there's the website. I will put that in the description below. And so your main social media, is it Reddit? Is there something else?
I am primarily on Reddit. That's how I prefer to be contacted, either that way or through my website. Cool. I'm the most responsive those two ways.
Great. So I'll put your Reddit handle in the comments below and a few examples of your posts so people can reach out, get help if they have. So and what's the typical person? So in which case should they contact you? What's like the number 2 or 3 problems that you can help them solve?
Um, like I get a lot of people that want to work remotely.
Hmm.
I have worked remotely for over 8 years. I know how to help people find those jobs. I know how to help them if they already have a remote job, how to help them be more productive. I'm really into, a lot of people also say, what can I do to get to the next step of my career?
Hmm.
So if they need help with that, they can reach out to me and for that also. And then also, also, I'm switching careers. That's another big one.
Yeah.
Um, it's really tough to switch careers, and so it's good to have a friend that that knows how to help you get through that. So I'm there. Anybody can reach out to me on Reddit, and or visit my website and leave a
Super cool.
comment or contact me.
Super nice. Super cool. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I look forward to seeing the next evolution of your website. If it's that much of a jump, like the previous one you made, I'm sure it's going to be really, really fantastic, even more so than it currently is. So I really look forward to seeing that. I wish you a ton of success, a ton of people that you help. I would be so happy if you can make this more of a full-time business. And so we'll be in touch. Maybe you'll come back on the channel after 6 months,
Sure.
1 year. We'll see where you stand. And so people, if you need help with your career or anything professional wise, contact Jennifer with the links in the description below. One last word,
Yeah.
Jennifer. The conclusion is yours.
Well, I just want to thank you, Xavier. I know we didn't get off to a great start, but we have made a great friendship. I look to you for advice, and this website wouldn't have transformed the way that it did without your help. So, so much thanks to you. I really appreciate it.
That's so nice of you. Thank you for the kind words. And that's only the beginning. I hope we can do a lot more together. Thank you, Jennifer. Say
Thanks,
bye to
Xavier.
the audience. See you
Bye,
soon.
everyone.